We have a big matchup potentially being made for the UFC 292 card, Sterling versus O'Malley in August. Really big card in Boston in general. They've been promoting it quite a bit. And we have a big matchup potentially being made for it. We have Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Vera. It is being rumored and it is kind of being put out there by Freak MMA, who I believe did release or at least hint at Moreno versus Pantoja being on UFC 290. They kind of just released that before everybody else. So they have some credibility. I saw a couple other sites taking what they said and showing it as well. They said basically this matchup is pretty much targeted for UFC 292. They're just waiting for Dr. Clearance for Henry Cejudo. So assuming that this is about correct and Henry Cejudo has been trying to get on that card, I think this is probably about right. I think he wanted Merab Dvalishvili, but I think Merab is still injured. I think he had a hand surgery. I don't think he's going to be able to make the card. So I think they're trying to look for other people. So this fight kind of makes sense a little bit, I guess, for matchup wise. Either way, if you're the UFC and you want Sean O'Malley to be champion, you kind of want either one of these guys to be next in line and put them on the same card for that press conference so you can hype up the next fight if they do indeed want Sean O'Malley to win. In case he does win, by the chance that he does have, I mean, Sterling's really good on the ground, but this is about Henry Cejudo and Marlon Vera. But you can kind of hype a fight based off of this matchup on that same card during a press conference. So I'm going to do like a little prediction for this, and I'm kind of going to go over the fight a little bit more here. But for this matchup, it is kind of surprising because Marlon Vera, as we know in that last matchup against Corey Sandhagen, I believe the first couple rounds he got taken down and pretty much destroyed on the ground. I don't remember if a judge gave him a 10-8 for Sandhagen with all the damage that he did on the ground, but you could probably argue that it could have been a 10-8. I think a judge actually scored the fight for Cheeto, which I thought was insane, but he got beat up pretty badly on the ground. And if this fight is 3 rounds, which there already is 2 5-round fights on this card, it is Weili Zhang, Amanda Lemos as the co-main, and then Sterling versus Sean O'Malley on the card as well. So 2 5-round fights on here. I doubt they put a third one. They could. But if this is a 3-round fight, I think it benefits Cejudo a lot, because I think in a 5-round fight for Marlon Vera, he has a lot more chances to catch Henry Cejudo in a matchup. But in this case, it is a 3-round fight, and Henry Cejudo can basically just control him on the ground. It really took a couple rounds for Cheeto to kind of put in that takedown defense, because for some reason he gets taken down, and then as the fight goes on, his takedown defense does get a little bit better. But for this matchup, if it is 3 rounds, I think it benefits Henry Cejudo quite a bit. Obviously, the footwork isn't the same as a Corey Sandhagen, so there might be some trouble for Henry Cejudo, and Corey Sandhagen probably way better on the feet than Henry Cejudo. So there are chances for him to get caught by a Cheeto, which could put a little bit of danger there. But I feel like I kind of just have to go with Henry Cejudo in this matchup, because he just has the wrestling and control Marlon Vera on the ground. I think he can do enough to stay out of some trouble on the feet. There's always that chance with Cheeto in a matchup, but I think he can stay out of some of the trouble. But this is a very big matchup, because I think either way, Cheeto Vera 2 matchup for Sean O'Malley would be big, and a Henry Cejudo versus Sean O'Malley matchup would be big as well. And I think Sean O'Malley probably matches up well against both of these guys, probably in 5-round fights as well. I know Marlon Vera already has a win over Sean O'Malley, but that was a weird, iffy win in general. People may disagree, but it is a weird way to win with the perennial nerve kick. So I think there's still more to be desired with that fight, probably for both of these fights. And I think they're going to be very entertaining fight if Sean O'Malley does win. But that's a really big ask at this point. But again, I just don't know about this matchup. I feel like Marlon Vera does have his chances in here. I guess he can land a couple good shots and maybe put Henry Cejudo out. He is a little bit older, but I don't know, man. I feel like I have to go with Henry Cejudo here, using his wrestling, especially in a 3-round fight. I think it would be a lot more useful here. If it's a 5-round fight, I don't know. I think Cheeto Vera actually might have a solid chance in here, just based on the amount of chances he'll have eventually in this matchup. And obviously, in a guy like Henry Cejudo, you're going to be working on that takedown defense, like mainly because the threat on the feet won't be as big as someone like a Corey Sandhagen, which he eventually did defend the takedowns, but on the feet, he's still kind of very dangerous. So it is kind of different that way. But in a 3-round fight, I have to go with Henry Cejudo. I'll probably say by decision. I think he probably controls this fight, maybe 29-28. Marlon Vera lands some really good shots in the 3rd round, but I have to go with Henry Cejudo. So that's what I have for this matchup. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know who you guys think wins in this one, and I'll see you guys next time.